Hi Aries, welcome to your week ahead tarot with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, my readings are for your sun, moon and ascendant sign. So whether you're a sun, moon or rising sign Aries, this is for you. And I always advise that you watch all three to get a clearer, more complete picture of how they speak to you. With that said, if you are a continued subby, you know I love you for it. If you're new to my channel, please don't forget to like, share. If you should so choose and this resonates, hit that subscribe button. And don't forget, on the 26th of May, I am we're going to be going live with a tutor Bava Das, and this is going to be all about the eclipse, and we're going to be pulling cards for all 12 signs. You do not want to miss this. Before we start, I would like to bless my deck of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance, and I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise and help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So your key to the week this week is the Fool card. I actually really like this, and not specifically just for Aries, but for everybody. The reason being is because the Fool card, it has that sort of new kind of energy. The fact that it's coming up in your sign, which is the first sign of the zodiac, this kind of feels like we are heading towards some form of newness. Now, when it comes to you personally, Aries, this suggests that this week there are going to be new avenues and options opening up or becoming available to you. And it also suggests that there may be new people coming in. It might be that you're going to new places, or this could be the spark of a brilliant idea that carries you forward in some way, shape or form. So listen to your intuition, pay attention when you get a download, pay attention to your dreams, right? Pay attention to everything in that sort of ethereal sphere this week, because you could be getting a message. For your actions and options this week, you have the Judgment card. It's interesting that these two come up, right? So the Fool card is definitely a card of change. The Judgment card is also definitely a card of change, usually pretty huge changes at that. Now, what tends to happen with the Judgment card is it brings someone or something back from the past so that we can assimilate the lesson that we learned from it or them, and then we can move beyond it. Now, the fact that you've got this in your actions and options, this week, it does appear that you are going over old ground in order to make a big change or a big leap forward in some way, shape or form, which I actually really like for you. But yeah, I would say this week, be prepared for either some sort of new insight or new understanding, and be prepared for a big change or a big shift to start happening from this week onward. For your communications and conversations, you have the Three of Pentacles. For some of you, this is really clear cut. That is literally you taking on a new course, of study, a new course of, a new methodology of some kind. This could be an online course. It could, for a select few of you, depending on where you are in the world and your, environmental situation, this could be literal learning where you're going into the place. But it does look like you're taking on board new ways of doing things and looking into gathering new knowledge or information that is going to be pertinent or useful for you at a later date. And it does feel like it's something quite technical. It doesn't feel like it's like, oh, I want to learn flower arranging or, how to crochet. It's not something creative. It's more something very focused that's going to teach you a skill that you can utilize and possibly even profit from at a later date. For those of you that work for somebody else, will look, right? If this could be your boss offering you some sort of training, this could be you maybe going to your boss and saying, look, you know what, I want to advance in my career, what is it going to take? And they suggest, well, it's going to be this course, it's going to be this training, you need to get this title, you need to get that qualification. All of those things will be discussed. For those of you that work for yourselves, similar kind of energy, only this week it looks like you're seeking out either professionals in a specific field to teach you how to do something, or you're outsourcing this. But it's not like I'm just going to hand it over and it's done. It looks like you're outsourcing this, but you're kind of wanting to peer in so that you can learn how to do it. A good example would be, let's say, I don't know, you want somebody to come in and change the door on your property, and you kind of hang about and you watch how they work, and it's like, oh, okay, so that's how it's done, so that next time it needs to be done, you yourself can go on to do it. For those of you that are retired or no longer working for any reason, this would be a really good time to think about what you are ready to take on board in terms of learning. It also suggests as well for all Aries in some way, shape or form, this week, if you are getting some form of advice, even if the person that the advice is coming from doesn't necessarily, you know, even if that person rubs you the wrong way, if it's good advice, don't be a fool. Take it on board, all right? For your money and materials, you have the Ace of Pentacles. This bodes very well for your finances. This whole week actually looks like it could be good for your money, Aries, which is really nice. What it also kind of tells me is, for some of you, this is literally about interviews to do with taking some form of study. So maybe this is preliminaries to get into the university that you want to get into. Maybe this is a job interview. Maybe this is, you know, an interview to get that next position that's going to bring you that more money. This is a really great card for your money, for your materials, your finances, and even for your work, because it suggests that whatever new things you're bringing in, they are going to have the desired effect, which is more of this stuff. So when it comes to your physical health and vitality, you are strong this week, right? Health is good. Whenever you see the Ace of Pentacles, it means on a physical level, when it comes to health anyway, it means on a physical level, you are strong. The vitality is good. You've got energy. You're, you know, in a lot of ways glowing from the inside, but it's more like it's not like a wands glow, right? Which is like fiery and passionate and dynamic. It's more like yeah, I feel settled and centered within myself, and you will exude that kind of energy this week. When it comes to your home and environment, for some of you, this could be you looking to either do some sort of construction work on the home. It looks like some of you might be looking at or into the foundations of your home as well, especially if you've got things like underpinning in the home. It looks like you could be thinking, you know, about ways to rectify that or ways to get it done. Another way that this could show up for some of you is literally just beautifying the home in some way, shape or form. And for those of you that are home owners, this could be about you looking for ways to increase the value of the home that you have. For your love and relations, you have the Nine of Swords. So look, for those of you that are partnered, I'm going to say this, the work and the studies do look like they're impacting the relationship. It's kind of like you're so busy or you're pulled in so many different directions that the relationship could suffer a little bit. It is the Nine of Swords, so it's not as bad as you might be seeing it, all right? It might just feel worse than it actually is. For those of you that are single, look, if you are meeting somebody, if you take night courses, if you take an online class, if you work nights or a night shift, you know, I would say that this week you are more likely to meet somebody. The only reason I say that is just because this card tends to see things happening in the evening or at night time. Outside of that, it does look like a lot of you are really focused on relationships at the moment, and it's kind of like you don't really know, for some of you, maybe you don't know where you stand, or maybe, you know, there's too much of an outside influence on the relationship or the potential relationship that's kind of hanging in the background there. All right, so all in all, not a bad week. I think it's going to be a very interesting one though. I mean, there's actually no fire here. It's all air and earth, right? So that in itself is a really interesting mix because they're opposing energies. So it will be interesting to see what you do with it and how you manifest it into being. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a fantastic week. Take care, and I'll see you soon.